in the next 5 years, if you are not using AI, somebody will replace you who is using AI better than you. It's not an or, you have to create the and, like you exist with AI together. When the internet happened, people said, I will continue to sell my books on the bookstore. I will continue to be a brick and mortar. And look at what happened with Amazon and all the industries impacted by that.
Welcome to the Marketing Meeting podcast. Today, my guest is Nuri Cankaya. He is the Vice President of Commercial Marketing at Intel. He leads marketing for AI, data center, edge, and commercial client segments. He's also the author of the book AI in Marketing, which is released almost 2 weeks ago. Welcome, Nuri.
Thanks a lot for having me.
So in your LinkedIn profile, you mentioned that your current passion lies in commercial and AI product marketing. So as the guest might understand that we are going to talk a lot about AI and marketing. And especially there is one nuance there that I would like to ask a few questions about AI product marketing, which is something that we started seeing more often. And
Absolutely.
which is still not there yet at an executive level. And there's like too many things to do over there. I'd like to start with a question. Since you've been working with AI and marketing a lot, which functions in marketing are changing the fastest by AI at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, AI is changing everything at the companies, and I always say every company will be an AI company. But starting with the marketing group, I believe there's a huge impact in every aspect of marketing. So just giving an example from my existing team. So like we do a lot of product marketing, first of all, as you highlighted, like I love all the AI products in the market, and I closely work with our partners across cloud solution providers and the OEMs. But the key thing is like from writing a product guide to a sales guide to a website description to a social post, there's lots aspects of product marketing because it requires all this like messaging and positioning framework design. And in all aspects of that, like AI is really a key part. But beyond that, I think I always think you have to put those into different categories. Like especially my team works with our partners a lot, so partner marketing is a really key. Like Intel is an ingredient brand, so like we don't sell directly to businesses, but we sell through Microsoft, AWS, Google, Lenovo, Dell, HP, Acer, Asus, like you name it. So that's the Intel inside of every technology company, and we try to bring that AI inside. So which means that whatever we develop from a partner marketing perspective, all the collaterals, all the go-to-market execution, all the like social feeds, everything reflects our let's say brand guidance and brand narrative. So from that perspective, we use a lot of AI. So I feel those are the areas, like from product marketing to the social media management and also partner marketing, are the key areas. And I see many other parts of the execution, especially influencer marketing and thinking about like the brand marketing. So how do you really create that brand and really make sure the awareness is there for the long term is really critical, and you can drive a lot of AI solutions there. But like all up, I think one of the key departments in an organization to adopt AI is marketing, and it will be a fueling a growth for the company for the AI era. So again, I'm super excited that my team and myself, we are using it, not only at Intel, but before when I was at Microsoft, we were really keen to understand and implement all the AI solutions. But that's kind of the tiering in my mind. So starting with simple steps with like less risk, high ROI, and then moving into more like the partner marketing, brand marketing, and maybe even more on campaign execution, account-based marketing. So again, we can unpack that all, but I feel that's like a step-by-step implementation process for all the marketing leaders.
I would like to, one of the questions that I receive a lot is from the companies that I work with is, where should we start first? Because there, as you said, like there are so many areas that can be impacted with marketing and that can be evolved with marketing, but they don't know where to start first.
Yeah.
Is there like one answer to that question, or
I mean, I will
what would you
show the
recommend?
book because like I will refer to this. So again, for the listeners, so again, I just published the AI in marketing book, and in the book I have this framework. So, and it's a very simple three-letter acronym, AIM. It's assess, implement, and measure. So, I mean, back to your question, the most critical step is the assess phase. So, like people uh, try to jump to the solution, like, oh, like I'm using Copilot, I'm using ChatGPT. It doesn't mean that you are really using AI in marketing. So I want to make sure first you do the assessment on like what are you trying to achieve, which areas, first of all, in your daily work can be better optimized with AI or leverage more with AI. And then what's the team's level of skilling on AI? So without doing that assessment, it's really hard to go and jump into the tool conversation. So that's why what I recommend to every marketing leader listening in is like make an assessment and start with your own team. So not everyone is at the same level, and I experienced this like firsthand with my team here at Intel, before at Microsoft. Some people, they really love to test everything in the market. So there are a couple of people in my team, like they're using Copilot, Claude, Gemini, like they have tens of maybe tools, but some of them are really reluctant, like, okay, how do I maybe upskill the team to be at the same level? And not every tool is required. So tooling is the implementation stage. But before that, like, what's your daily tasks look like? And I always run this workshop on like, if I go with any like assessment phase, what's your daily work routine look like? And then people take it like personal, like, are you auditing my timelines? Like, I mean, my calendar is open, why are you asking this? I'm not asking this, it's just the assessment. So let's understand what's your like visual creative design timing, what's your like let's say text generation timing, and then can AI help you to drive that? Like some of the campaigns we do A/B testing, we do broader testing. So can we accelerate those with AI? So these are the questions you can only ask if you have what is done today. So I think like logging everything what you do as a group or an individual is a critical step. And the second big thing for the enterprise is, of course, getting that secure and confidential AI built in. Because again, I believe we can discuss that, but like many of the companies jump and like start to use the existing tools and share all the company data, which is wrong. Especially in the world of AI, the data is the most important assets the companies have. So especially for the marketing teams, they have to know what to share, what not to share. So that assessment phase also needs to include like what are the tools to use and what's the data sets and customer like information that you can really use to train some of those models. Because not only in US but also in the Europe, like we have this GDPR rules, so
Yeah.
you have to handle the customer data really cautiously, and you have to protect the customer data, and also you have to protect the enterprise assets, which are the proprietary data for the company's growth. So my short answer is exactly the first step is making the right assessment.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many questions that I'm going to ask after this, but
Please.
the first question is because especially for smaller companies, not at the enterprise level like the global big companies, but like small and medium-sized businesses, the first reaction from marketing teams is just like to go ahead and start using the tools that are like ChatGPT, Gemini, Cloud, and so on, and then start using them, which ends up being that the other day I found myself for one of my clients. I was about to upload a strategic deck to get some feedback from AI. And then I said, I mean, like, I'm doing something wrong. I stopped myself, but because I have this experience of so many years of knowledge. But then you mentioned that these, in terms of security and protection of data, the companies should look into building their internal AI systems in place rather than utilizing like companies like ChatGPT or Cloud and or Google or the other partners, Microsoft's tools?
Absolutely. I think there's definitely a hybrid solution here. So like I want to maybe give a quick glimpse about like how the AI systems work. But first, majority of the solutions require a big training. So, and again, if you look at ChatGPT, they're training now GPT-5, it will take like roughly 4 to 6 months in an average to train all this. It's like more than like $10 billion cost. So as a company, you cannot do that training phase. So you have to use a GPT, which is generative pre-trained transformer. So you get all the knowledge. But what is critical today is like the AI agents and RAG, retrieval augmented generation. Just to keep it very simple, like you have to make that assessment first, like what's a company data and what should not be on a public cloud, because whatever you share with the public solutions, you might become a part of the training set for the next GPT. And we really don't want that. So we have seen some examples of in the early days of Copilot, like some customers use their own like code base and put it on a cloud solution and ask like, hey, can you optimize this? And then another developer can go and like, can you write the application exactly like this company? It's called reverse engineering. So you technically use the system to decode what the other company's proprietary like coding is. So from that sense, I think there will be a hybrid way. So when I say hybrid, like there will be some applications that should be run on premises, especially when you are handling any customer data, any financial data that you really want to keep behind the firewall. And this is exactly the way that cloud computing happens. So you don't put everything on the cloud. Like there's a privacy concern. Like sometimes there are regulations that the data should not leave the national land. So again, like you are bound into the country's borders. So it applies to same with AI. It's a little bit fluid today, but I want to highlight like first, there are great open source models right now, and the world has experienced the DeepSeek movement in January, so which was a big movement for all the others to follow, because I believe if you look at the implementation, the basics, like I mean, getting a text generation, getting very basic image generation can be done locally. You don't need to go to a big solution and really like create some uh, confidentiality issues with the company. So you have to treat that like work closely with a IT team and create a local machine to do, we call that inferencing. So like you have an existing model which is trained, but you can use that, download that open source model from like platforms like Hugging Face and use it locally without with a firewall. So your company data never goes beyond the company firewall. So this way you will be protecting the company data, especially for marketing. The key thing is creating a generative AI usage guideline for the company. And I see some examples, like some companies who don't want to like spend the time, they just block the domains. Like you cannot go to a chatgpt.com domain, and it's wrong. Like I mean, you cannot block. People will bring their own devices, they will use their mobile devices or whatever, the personal laptops to do this again. I call this a shadow AI. Like I mean, we have seen this in the era of applications when all this Android and iPhone applications are popular. If they don't get the same apps on their PC, people use like their own solutions, and it's happening exactly right now. People are getting like $20 subscriptions and they're uploading the document. So we want to make sure that this is done in a really hybrid way in terms of like assessing, again, the first step back to the assessment, make the assessment which tools to use locally and which documents to upload safely to public solutions. So I think there will be a balance between two, but it all starts with that assessment phase on what goes where in which situation. So if you nail down your use cases, especially for marketing, it's so easy. Like for text generation, use this. For image generation, use this. For video generation, for example, it's almost impossible to have it on your local system because you have to buy like almost $1 million equipment, which is not going to be worth the hassle. So you can use the generative AI tools on the cloud, But again, while generating those maybe videos or like some different modalities, voice might be another one, make sure you don't share any any private information that might go public. So again, there's a balance for the marketeers there.
I'll very simplify for the understanding of the people, like with a few examples. For example, the most common thing for a marketer, like for a brand coordinator to do, is to write social media post copy or a copy for whatever marketing campaign. And for that, they can easily utilize ChatGPT or some other things, right?
Correct.
As long as they don't upload any strategy
Yeah,
documents like the
exactly.
strategy or that is not public. And they can utilize those. And even for those type of simple things, do we need some kind of a local solution leveraging like an open source model, or what would you suggest for those?
Again, like, I mean, in my daily life, I use my PC a lot, and at Intel we have this like AI PC movement. So many of the like new PCs, the personal computers, are now having some neural processing unit and a graphical processing unit on the device. So we will see more shift to the device itself, because it is behind the company firewall, and you can do a lot of things today on small language models. So and this happened like historically multiple times. Like when the internet happened, you had like big data centers, like big servers, and then like they became smaller, and then like now your device, let's say a mobile phone, had like more processors than any other PC. And then the cloud computing happened, like we added like a lot of data centers, and we had AI. In the next 5 to 10 years, it will like all these big models will be able to run on your mobile phone and on your personal device, and we are heading to that direction. So, and definitely we will do like quantum maybe on the data center. So like this is always like client server. I mean, there will be more data, more compute on big systems, but it will like diminish and then really like come to the client. So back to your question, I believe many people will start using devices, especially personal computers. All the devices from Microsoft. I mean, many people heard about the Microsoft Copilot. There's a version called the Copilot Plus, which runs on the device. You don't have even a like go to a cloud service. It runs on the device itself, which is a very secure way of using the AI features on really basic things like generating image, creating meeting summaries. And these are like pivotal, simple things. I mean, I do have a busy calendar like many others, and I just asked like, hey, what was the summary of this meeting which I missed to attend? And Copilot gives me all the summary and everything. It's still within the boundaries of the company, and it gives me a lot of productivity gain, because now I can follow through all the conversation without going through 60 minutes of listening all the meetings. So these are simple things, but I believe there will be more PC related AI, like on device AI, and we call it the edge AI, by the way. This is going to be a big area that is growing. And maybe one last example I will give is from healthcare. So imagine your MRI scans, all the X-rays, like these are really confidential information for health data point, and you can use now the devices at the edge, and then this can run AI models. And now like the breast cancer can be detected 5 years before, versus again like because AI can detect the images way deep and using different data sets than a human doctor can. So it's really amplifying the doctor's ability to make a statement by using AI, but using the AI at the edge, which is like right at the hospital, your data never leaving that premises, directly running on the machine itself. So again, this is a good example of like how healthcare can be transformed by AI, but there will be more and more AI moving to everywhere in our lives.
How about, let's say, things like that concerns data, customer data, and then those, even for small companies, you would, I guess, not recommend any, third-party application to be used, right?
Again, there should be a balance. Going back to the assessment, for example, you are planning to do a LinkedIn post for your company. That the outcome will be completely social post, which is open to world.
Public, yeah.
Same with X or Meta, you name it, like whichever social platform. So and the context window that you will provide, maybe again, it's a public data. You can just say, go to this website, which is your company's website, look at this page, and this is the key points that I want to highlight in the social post. Write me the post and generate an image. Make it like more with a hook on top. So create an infographic for this. I'm telling you because I'm doing it every day. So like people are forgetful. They just like forget. Like I write an article on LinkedIn, for example, on shadow AI. It's long and people say, oh, like this is so long, I cannot read it. Okay, now I created a video version of it for 90 seconds. And then they say, oh, like this is too short. Like I want, and then I create an infographic version. The only thing that I do is, hey, this is the source article, make this like 15-page carousel file for the users to be more like easily digesting, because some are like visual learners, some are like learning by in depth. And then, yeah, like I think there will be a lot of tools. So I'm not saying don't use the like the Geminis, Chat GPTs, or Claudes of the platform. Use them, but know what are you using it for. Yeah. And if it's experimenting is totally fine, by the way. So the best way to learn these tools is just going to them and like asking some prompts, and you have to be like getting better on the prompting, because that's the new way of interacting. So you can write a program without knowing any coding skills today, which is amazing. Same with the marketeers, like they can do amazing like messaging and positioning frameworks like a 20-year marketing executive with the help of like GPT tools. But again, you have to know what is like going to be really implemented and what is a learning case study for you.
What about, for example, I have been to an AI marketing conference in Cleveland this year, and on one of the sessions, the speaker was talking about how we can upload the customer profiles to ChatGPT or like Cloud in a way, and then get good segmentation. But that involves uploading some customer data into the system itself. What would you say to those type of applications? Because it's about you just upload your customer data to get a better customer segmentation from the AI, but it's public at the end of the day.
I mean, you have to be really reading all the terms and conditions of those tools. Like, I mean, everything comes with a price. First of all, if something is free, it's always told, but you are the product. Like, I mean, they're selling your data. So if something is free, you have to be extra cautious. Like, I mean, I'm not going into open source, because like if you download the DeepSeek model and run it locally, your data is not going anywhere. But if you go to DeepSeek application and upload your documents, believe me, they are going to China. So like, I mean, and by showing that code, it is definitely showing it is doing that. And same applies to the other tools. So the companies are selling this additional layers. The good example is like ChatGPT versus Copilot. So ChatGPT is a public open tool. They're coming with like more enterprise tools. Again, they will have more and more like privacy, security concerns. But at the same time, Microsoft is using the same ChatGPT's like 4.5 today, and creating this as a Copilot for the companies to use internally. And you know that when you use the Copilot, it is within your domain. So again, there will be more like customer stories like this, because I see ChatGPT is the ultimate platform owner with GPT. Same applies to the Gemini, same applies to Anthropic. Like these big companies really provide like a generative pre-trained transformer model, and the model is used by other companies in different ways. The best example is Llama from Meta. And as a marketeer, again, Meta has like ups and downs in our lives. So like because of privacy and confidentiality, but Zuckerberg is doing a fantastic job on embracing the open source, making sure AI is led by Meta with the Llama. 90% of the AI solutions today runs on Llama. So again, there's a huge startup ecosystem coming there. So like I know it's the early years. It's really hard to do a due diligence when you choose a vendor, but at least in any company, like, I mean, I don't really recommend like uploading your customer data for a campaign without knowing what's happening, so on the background. So
Yeah.
try to do your due diligence, and especially don't be a part of the broader training data set, because then you're risking not only your company reputation but your customers data. And again, like, I think one of the things that will boom in the upcoming years is cybersecurity. People are going to use most of this leaked information on passwords, address information, name, social security, you name it, and they will try to like sell it to a broader audiences. And again, it might be AIs buying this data to do something with it. So the security threats are just going to explode. So you have to be really cautious on what's the ultimate goal that you are trying to achieve. In the short term, it might look like a gain, but just spend the time on the assessment, choose the right tools, and then start implementing. So I think don't try to shortcut the first step of assessment, because that's a really key of implementing AI in marketing.
So in that three model framework, so one of them is AIM, which is like, what's our goal, I guess, right? The other one
AIM is the all up framework I come up with. So assess is the first stage. The second one is implement. Yeah, like maybe if I share the implement, so implement is really critical, because then you choose the tools. Like personally, like my team and like I do a lot of tools, but I try to explain on the book about like the 20, like the top ones. Like one of them is Perplexity, for example. So I like the term Aravind, the CEO, calls it like the find engine. So we have search engines today like Google, but Perplexity is using some real data to really give you the answers directly, rather than you are searching, you are finding the answer. So it's an answer machine that gives you the answers. But of course, it does it with the tooling called the retrieval augmented generation, where even you can add your company data in a secure way, and it searches for all the documents and everything. So one of the tools, for example, I recommend is Jasper.ai. So Jasper is an interesting tool where you say, this is my brand identity, just like the basics of these are the color tones I use, like the blue and shades of blue. This is the company branding tone, like innovative, like all these words that we use, like energize, excite, blah, blah. And then this is the visual color, like design principles, like we use real people, not animations. We use this diversity in our imagery and everything. And then the company logo always goes to right bottom. And when we end our, let's say, press releases, we always end with our company statement. You just feed them as a learning process, and then you can just go like, can you create me a flyer for this event? Boom, it looks like your brand engine worked, because the brand considerations are uploaded inside the model.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry anymore, because all this like text generation is done with the words that you highlighted. All the imagery comes up and you can just say like, create 10 different images to show on a social media. And if you today work with an agency, it takes like ping pong. Like, I mean, you just say like, I didn't like it, revise it. With a chat tool, you can just like chat with it. Okay, like make it more brighter, change the images, put this image behind a PC, or like add some buildings to the image, and then it's still keeping the framework in the mind of like, hey, this is your company profile, and this is the imagery, this is the font, this is the logo appearance, and then everything really applies fast. So there are marketing specific tools like this, and maybe the third one, and I will stop there, is the HubSpot. So like we use a lot of the account-based marketing. We want to go deeper into the customer journey. It's not just like creating the top of the funnel with like demand generation, but really closing the deals, following till the end. And you require that like nurture with emails, like social integration, all the webcasts. Like, I mean, there's multiple joints that you collect the data from, and HubSpot has this solution with AI that you can really interact with it. Like, hey, where is this customer X with the journey? What's the next best reach model? Can you generate a customized model? And like, imagine you are creating an ABM, account-based marketing journey, customized to each individual. Today, it's almost impossible to do it in a manual basis. Like if you have a 1,000 customers with 5 people in that each account, you have like 5,000 reach points just for a single customer, single product. So, and if you're a company like Intel, we have billions of people to reach out. So it becomes impossible, but for AI, it's not. So we can send individualized content on different channels and we follow through. Like, I mean, Utir, you have seen this on Netflix. Now we catch you on LinkedIn. So like it really connects like, wow, I mean, Intel knows how to work with me, kind of an impression. And then you really go through the funnel approach. So again, like there's lots of tools that we can highlight, but again, making that implementation stage as a next stage is critical. And you have to learn from like experiences, and you have to upskill your team on like the Jasper usage, Copilot Plus usage, HubSpot usage. So you really upskill everyone so everybody has access to the greatness of AI tools.
How do you see around in the marketing teams? Because already marketing is a lot of work, like so many things to create every day, and then it's sometimes feeling like we are saving the world. This is the same thing I keep on saying to people. But now we entered a big era, which is like you have to assess your needs, you have to find the right tools, you have to implement using those tools within the team. And it's just like it comes up as a big other function living in the marketing team to just implement the AI world. What would be the solution to that? I mean, is like getting a outsider consultancy or like a team or like building the team inside the, of course it depends based on the company, but is there any best practices that you see around working with so many other companies?
Absolutely. I mean, it's all about creating the urgency, and I believe we have to be really bold on this one. We like, if you are not an AI marketer, you will lose your job. So that's an alarming situation. Like in the next 5 years, if you are not using AI, somebody will replace you who is using AI better than you. So there's an existential crisis for any marketers right now. So it's not or it's like you have to create the end, like you exist with AI together. So it is there's lots of concerns in the job market today, and I believe it happened across all the technological innovation. Like when the internet happened, like 2000s, so people said like, oh, like I mean internet, like I will continue to sell my books on the bookstore, I will continue to be a brick and mortar. And look at what happened with Amazon, and look at all the industries that has been impacted by that. So similar, and like I was responding to a Gartner analyst, and they were asking me like, "What's your traditional media spend?" $0. Like I don't want to be on, and we spend a lot of money on marketing through our partners. So like we want to make sure we customize our journey on these digital channels, and we go as deep as possible on the account level engagement, so by individual engagement. So which means that without the help of AI, the future is not possible to add the value. And there will be people who will use AI on their daily lives every day today, but if you are not doing it like spending the time to upskill yourself, it will be really hard. So the best practice that I recommend is create that virtual team, tiger team, whatever you want to call it, but like get the first influencers on the spotlight. So, and again, making sure that this is an inclusive environment. Like if someone, let's say Jane in the team is like using the tools, she's super excited about anything, and then like get her maybe a spotlight, like AI in marketing workshop within your group, and show that the others that like, hey, this person is using, what are you doing with AI today? And then next round, get the others. And then it's like a turning table. Everybody gets a spot. So it creates an urgency. First, people will see that, okay, the rest of the team is really spending some time and they're using AI agents. Oh my God, like I need to upskill myself because I believe everybody has time. It's all about prioritization. So, and these things only will work for the companies if you spend the right amount of time on experiencing them. So just use it for your personal life and then start to see the changes. and then like follow the key people, and also like, I mean, follow me on LinkedIn. I do share like every day, literally for the last almost 6 months, one thing about AI in marketing. So like, I mean, I try to share like how to create an AI agent, and there are like many people like me who are really willing to share this information. So just follow the right people on the area, and then again pin their maybe or bookmark their posts, so like you can go and explore. I think the best way of implementing is like using the tools and really showcasing to the others, because that's the next stage. So, and if you have that urgency, like, hey, there's a virtual team or a tiger team developed, and when you show this to your management, I think that will create the big change. So, and maybe just wrapping up on that part. So the last letter is measure, because everything you do, you need to measure it. So, and marketing success is always like, if you are not putting the right return on investment measures on any activity, you will be judged by the sales team, because sales team never loves marketing. They see like, you're a cost engine, like they should give you the money to us and we will hire more sales representatives. So they think, again, like, I mean, majority of them, again, I don't, there are great people who knows the value of marketing, but you have to show, like, you have to say like, marketing is helping you to drive the sales. So we are like yin and yang, like making sure we are working closely to drive that customer experience and really helping the company to grow on more profitable way. And this is the only way that if you set the right measurement, like, I will double the reach of the customers, I will increase the sales pipeline 5 times with this new AI project. And then if you set the post, and then like you shouldn't change the goal post, like you should keep it there, and you have to overachieve that. So I'm a big fan of this OKRs, objectives and key results, where Google really puts it. And if you like look at it, 80% is like the basics. Like if you achieve something, you embrace the red, like you say like, I couldn't achieve this. But with AI, you can really quadruple the outcomes. And when you show it to the sales leaders, like last year I was driving like $1 billion pipeline, with the help of this AI campaign I made it $4 billion. Wow. I mean, they will just stop and they will say, how can I use AI more for other products? So I think it's just that recursive thing. So, and then you have to go back again, like do the assessment for the next project, implement it, and then measure it. But like, if you don't measure and if you don't communicate the results, you will not get successful implementation. But if marketing leaders does this properly, they will get more funding from the leadership team on doing more marketing stuff, because they will see that the impact is like quadrupled with the AI solutions implemented in the marketing journey.
I want to ask one question, because like when a company does a marketing campaign or like the regular social posts, like day-to-day things, it's easier, comparably easier to implement it. But when it's a joint marketing campaign with some other companies, then it's another thing. And I know that you are running joint marketing campaigns with big companies like AWS, Dell, HP, and so how does it work there? I mean, like, how do you, what makes a good technology partnership deliver results on our side?
Yeah, first of all, again, like we are trying our best. Like there is no like super immediate success we can all claim. I think we are all in this learning journey with all the other companies. We are working with like Lenovo, AWS, and many others, again, because they're also implementing their solutions there. The key thing is like making sure our goals are aligned on what we are trying to achieve. So, and I always start any outbound campaign activity with that goal, like, hey, we are launching this new product and we will put money behind it as a co-marketing. So what we want from the customers to see, the key thing is like the customer outcomes. And I'm a big believer of the outcome based marketing. So we have to put like, is this creating more innovation faster, or are we saving more dollars for the customer so they can do more things? So a good example with AWS is definitely like when customers use the instances that we create as an example, they save almost 30% instantly. So, and we communicate that value. We say like, use this instances on AWS and then save this amount. With, for example, with Google, like we do a lot of inferencing with them, and then we say, like, rather than using a GPU, like you can use this CPU with an AI acceleration. So we help them to innovate faster. So it's all about saving money or making money. Like, there are only two outcomes that the customers really care. If you communicate it well with the partner, and if you align on the goals on, like, hey, we will communicate this, and this is the exact thing, like, I mean, with this product, 28% performance is the key, and these are the customers that we will go and market that. uh, like, this is the changing world. So you have to be really account specific, you have to be really data driven, and you have to be really outcome based. So if you manage those three, AI will help you to get those tailored messages, and then you will not see a billboard campaign saying, like, hey, this is the big thing happened, but the related people in that specific account will see their outcomes, and it's a bigger value with AI today. So again, I'm really a big believer of that outcome based marketing approach in that co-marketing partnerships.
Mhm. I would like to ask two more questions about AI in general. One of them is agentic AI. Could you please explain it a bit more in the context of marketing and how it applies to marketing in this new world?
Yeah, absolutely. So agentic AI is the topic for 2025, by the way. So, like, we are living in this era of reasoning, and the big change of, like, this reasoning models are, it's called the chain of thought. So, like, what the models can do today is, like, you gave them a task, and then they think like a human, and then they break it down into multiple steps. I will just made up, like, how can you cure cancer, for example. Like, okay, and then it might, historically it will just give you like a bunch of text, like, curing cancer is like, and then, like, you get some text prompts, but I don't want it. So I want you to go and reason about it. So what it does is, it's called the multiple inferencing. So it runs the model like, hey, so Nuri asked me about this, so what's the core reasons? No, like, go deeper and then find the core reasons. Maybe the response will take 6 minutes to me, but it's following a chain of thought to get the result like us. So it's becoming more like, it's called the mixture of experts. So you imagine you have an expert on math, but literature and sociology and marketing, all these experts working together, they will craft a better response to you. So with AI agents, what's happening is you automate all these tasks that you want to do using AI in a flow format. So that makes it really, like, it's almost automating the marketing process end to end by using a chain of thought, like we do with reasoning. You say, I want to do a marketing campaign for this product, and I want this to be automated in a way that when customer X responds to this, find the blah, think about it, put the right wording, and then create a response, send it through, generate an image. Like, you can just, like, create a chain of processes to be followed by a single action from the customer, and you just save it. So it becomes like your work process as an agent. So you technically have an employee working for you 24/7 without moving a finger. Everything is automated. The key thing is, like, how do you define that agent to do that work? And if that goes like hallucination, where do you control it? So that's why we need the Perplexities of the world, we need the Geminis of the world, and we need HubSpot, like all these tools to make sure it's connected within. But in my mind, this is the area where we will see more innovation and more tooling. Because back to your first question, like, where do I start? If you don't have any opinion, start from the AI agents. Like, try a couple of predefined agents. Imagine these are like, when you open PowerPoint, you can just start from a blank page, or it gives you like nice and good templates. So AI agents are almost like templatized solutions. You can just use some of them, test them, and then customize them for your workflow. And there will be companies, more consultancy companies, who are going to be providing AI agents to you. And again, end of this year, I think we will be shocked, because there will be, again, I'm really a big believer of AI agents becoming into the workforce. You will say, I have 20 people in my team. 10 humans and 10 agents. So like, and the existing 10 will be maybe 10 plus agents together. So because I believe everyone will be a part of an AI merge journey for us. Again, it's a little bit scary, but again, 2025 is the year of agentic AI, and there will be more execution happening on the marketing and some business operations front with that automation work that's possible with reasoning models.
And then, which would mean probably then we are going to see a lot of marketing around agentic AI companies, I guess, right?
Exactly.
My HR agent is better than your HR agent type of things.
And this will
Probably.
happen at the top level. So again, I can clearly see looking at Microsoft, I mean, they already publicly announced like they will come up with agents. You can rent agents from companies like Salesforce today. So imagine Oracle is doing the same. Like these big ERP customers, SAP, one of them, like they do finance, HR, marketing, like lot of the modules on this ERP solutions. You can have agents, and then rather than just selling this agent one time, you can just create that workflow and make it a chargeable thing for the business, and then they will do an amazing job by the learning and reasoning. So it will be a good complement to your team, and for especially small customers, this is a game changer. Like you can hire the best HR consultant for your work, best social media strategist for your work virtually, because let's say these are going to be like $20 per month. So I don't think you can even find anyone to work for 2 hours on a marketing space. But this is incredible. So that's the law of scale. I think we will see more agents coming from more vendors, but some of them will immediately reach that scale phase, which will go crazy on the DNA of the marketing departments.
Well, okay. I mean, then I'm just thinking about like, because a friend of mine recently asked me a question about, okay, agentic AI, and then which means, for example, I'm like a marketer, I would like to hire an agent. And this means like it's like a B2C marketing. It's not like B2B marketing, then it's a B2C marketing. How do you make sure an agentic AI campaign is better than the other agentic AI campaigns? So then, and I asked him, what's the trust that you are trying to build? Because marketing is about trust. Is it like security that you are giving a message? Your agentic AI is more secure, or your agentic AI has more years of experience, marketing experience, because it's developed by better marketers, something like that. So I think it's going to be an interesting time to watch it.
Absolutely.
The last one is about AGI, which is artificial general intelligence. Could you tell a bit about that too, as we wrap up?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And again, like I will refer one last time to the book. So,
I'm
like
gonna read the
chapter
book.
13 on the book, again, like I try to explain it in a really simple word. Like AGI for the listeners, like today we are living in this narrow AI. So AI is doing some specific tasks, great, sometimes really close to human. But with AGI, artificial general intelligence, AI will be capable of every skill that human can do in every discipline. So from physics to math, from social to creativity, like every aspect of human parity will be achieved. That's what we call it AGI. So it's not over, by the way, saying like it's like a superhuman level. So you can really achieve that. So which means that AGI will drastically change the world we live in. So it's not about marketing anymore. It's like, let's go up a level. It's the nation's level. That's why today there's a big race on being the first one to finding the AGI, because imagine if it's the United States or not, there will be a lot of benefits of being the first one reaching out to AGI, and it requires a lot of investment because you need to build that big hardware, which also requires lots of energy to run, and also lots of energy to cool down, because AI is consuming lot of energy. And there is like solutions like liquid cooling, nuclear plants. Today it's using natural gas to be more environmental friendly, but like there will be a debate about that. But this requires a huge like investment. So, and there will be few nations achieving this, and there will be few companies achieving this, and the rest will, again, there will be AGIs across. So with that, this is going to change the marketing world forever, because you have the superhuman that's not just great at marketing, but that's great in every single aspect. So, and again, this will not happen overnight. So in my opinion, again, just looking at the numbers and everything, we will achieve AGI in 18 months. So which is 2026, 2027. It's not far. So it might be either OpenAI, Google, Meta, uh, or we don't know. I mean, Anthropic. Like there's like 6, 7 frontier labs in the world who are working on AGI, and one of them will achieve this, and then the others will follow. So it's all about feeding more data, getting the fine tuning, and it's called the reinforcement learning. So you add that human touch, and then like you add more, and then the system starts learning by itself. So again, we know how to get there. So we didn't know this like last year. Now we know everybody's racing to get it done. So the critical thing is like 18 months is so near, but
Yeah.
it will not instantly come to like, hey, like I'm getting your marketing job. It will take 5 to 10 years to be commercialized. So as usual, it will be used for many other things before it comes to business and AGI in marketing. But we have to be prepared. So, and then maybe the last thing I will highlight, I said I will not show the book again, but like I have a visual on the book. So even the future is going to be an interesting one, because after AGI, we are entering to a new area of ASI. So again, ASI stands for artificial super intelligence. Again, like I will just show the page on the book, but like this is a 3-layer approach. So we are in the AI, we will go to AGI, but the next level is artificial super intelligence. And this one, we don't know when it will happen. It might be 10 years, 15 years, maybe more, maybe early. But the artificial super intelligence is the area where AI is aware of itself. Some people call it singularity. And then it is overachieving any human by far. So, which means, like, I will give an example. If you have a dog or a cat, they hear different frequencies than the human. So you cannot feel what's going on the street. But if there's another dog, all the doors are closed. They hear it, feel it, and they start to bark or meow. So again, that's the way that they are even better hearing capabilities than humans. Same with like falcon. The falcon sees like a rabbit from like 2000 miles above, because they have this like special eyesight. We don't have that. We only see like limited. So imagine you are feeding the AI with all this invisible line of sight on the hearing, smell, all the vision, and all the information that we cannot interpret as human beings, and AI can. So we are creating that artificial super intelligence. So again, it might happen in 10, 15 years. Again, my bet is like 2035 or so, like at least 10 years until we achieve that. But the future is going there, and we are like creating a intelligence far beyond the humans for the first time in the history of life as we know it. So the future is super exciting. I think from being in this in the early days of marketing is again super exciting. My maybe final thoughts is like, make sure you upskill yourself. Make sure you read books, you listen podcasts, you really try to be curious and try experimenting all these things in your enterprise environment as well, and create that virtual teams, because if you don't, you might lose your job. Your company might be out of business, because only the companies and the people will survive who are embracing the change with AI. It's not forcing AI out of the way.
Well, let's see if you'll be able to see the super intelligence phase of it. I hope
Fingers
so.
crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And two questions, which is not related to AI or marketing. I always wrap up with the same questions. Other than your book, is there any book that you highly suggest to? It can be. It doesn't need to be related to AI at all. But what's one book that you would recommend to
uh, there are a
listeners?
couple of books, again, like I can pick from my background, but like uh, You said without the, so this is my one of my favorite books, Winning the Week
Oh,
by Demir and Kerry. So this really helped me for personal productivity. Again, like AI can help you with something, but you have to control your time. So that's one of the key books.
I
And
use
maybe
that
the
book.
second book I will go with is the Ethan Mollick's Co-Intelligence. So this is like a
Mm,
December 2024 book, so like a couple of months back. But he's a professor, and then this book is really written to explain like how do we coexist with AI. So this is like in
mhm.
the age of AGI. So you can just read it as a good reference. But yeah, like beyond my book, so this might be the two book references from my library.
Nice, nice. Especially winning the week. I need to read that as I'm having difficulty
Yep, yeah,
managing my time.
absolutely.
Since you are in Seattle, what's your favorite coffee place in Seattle?
I mean, I live in Kirkland, so again, we have a. I mean, it's far from the downtown Seattle, but we have a special coffee spot called Zoka Coffee. So it's they have this like really blend of Mediterranean and also the American
Oh, okay.
culture mixed together. So yeah, like I like that place. It's in downtown Kirkland. It's a nice spot that I meet my couple of colleagues from. I work remotely. My team
Mhm.
is in Santa Clara, Oregon, and like again, it's a remote world, so it's always great to go for a coffee. And yeah, like I mean, I totally recommend the chai latte at Zoka. So they have a great brewing there.
Mhm. I hope I can meet you there one day too. Thanks so much
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
for joining me at this podcast.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me.